next two dogs in IPO obedience. First is Samantha and Acadia. So we see a dog that's happy to be with its handler, and the gunfire goes off, and that bugs the dog a whole bunch. And I didn't know this at the time, and that's why I fired the extra shots at the end, and it's kind of a, well, it's not a moot point, but it's my job to test the dog beyond if I feel the need to, but I wasn't about to do it while your dog reacted to it and was sitting there with the potential of her ruining her long down. But I can do it then after the exercise. And I said to her, your dog has a problem with gunfire, and she said, tell them what you told me. Because I had gunfire before last week. And I said, you would do that to your dog. Sorry, but that's what I said. I can't imagine coming to a national championship and your dog never sees gunfire and you show up here. I just feel bad for the dog. But there's a bit of an issue there, and you need to continue to work on that. And I saw a little different reaction to the dog at the end with the gunfire than I did and stay on the long down. So that's why I'm not failing the dog for a temperament issue, because of what I saw there. If the dog had moved, it would have been over. I see the gunshots here, and yes, the dog is a little bit, I'm not sure of this, but I didn't see the reaction when you were moving on. So that's my judgment call. Unfortunately, you're not passing obedience for other reasons today. And we'll go through the critique. But I have to point that out to the crowd when I see a deficiency. But again, I'm not going to blame that dog. I'm going to blame its handler. Anyway, free healing, we require a whole bunch of extra commands to get the dog back under control after the gunfire. The dog could be in a better position overall throughout the routine after that. In the group also could be a little bit better in position and should sit more correctly. Insufficient exercise. Sit out of motion. The dog requires an extra command here for the secondary obedience. The basic command, the basic position should be more correct at the beginning. The build-up is a little bit long, and I don't know what you were waiting for just in terms of turning around.
Or might be the judge told us to wait until he told us to turn around. So
there's nothing in the rules that says.
Yeah, I asked that question at the beginning, and he said to wait. Sorry.
No. I feel bad for you because that is not the way that it's done.
And I read the rules, and I brought it up to him. So.
And I wish you would have asked me yesterday, not thinking in hindsight, but and so I'm thinking, why is she waiting? I don't know.
Which exercise?
This sit out of motion and the down out of motion. She stood there and kept waiting. I kept wondering, why is she not turning around? Because she was directed by another judge, but it does not say that in the rules. You can pause slightly and then turn around. So, I'm thinking, I don't know how that, for me, was a little bit of handler help, because I just really didn't know what you were doing. And I kept saying, please turn around. In any event, the dog does sit very quickly. The handler does look back when she gives the command with a little bit of help there as well. Satisfactory exercise today. Down with recall. The dog should be more correct in the build-up. The dog is in front of the handler. Again, handler help before turning around to recall the dog. The dog comes very quickly, but she has to give the come command twice. The dog does not have control. Here we do not see a front demonstrated, and the finish should be more correct, insufficient. Retrieve on the flat. As you approach the dumbbell rack, you are not allowed to give the dog a command. So as you approach, she tells the dog to heel 2 times as she's approaching the dumbbell rack. You cannot say anything to the dog. The dog must be under control, and you must go with the dog up to 1 meter. And you don't have to sit, but you have to move within 1 meter of the dumbbell rack. So this is a little faulty on the handler's part. The dog goes out very quickly, should pick up the dumbbell more directly. needs to hold the dumbbell a little bit more firmly in the front position, and then when you take the dumbbell, the dog moves. Insufficient exercise today. The retrieve over the jump, very fast, out and back, clears the jump. Here the dog does pick up the dumbbell correctly, it holds it calmly, could be a little bit more correct in the front. This is an excellent exercise.
Very
The
nice.
retrieve over the wall, again, the dog goes over very quickly and comes back, holds the dumbbell calmly, but it should be a little closer to the handler in the front, and the front should be more correct. And then as you go back to the, as you approach the dumbbell rack to put your dumbbell away, you give an additional command here as well. Still good. Send out with the down. Unfortunately, and there was some confusion on your part today. Again, the rules clearly state, I tell you when to give the dog the first command on the send away. It is up to the handler to decide when to give the second and third command. That is not for me to tell you. And the dog totally disregarded both additional commands, and so all points are lost on the send out today. Insufficient. Long down under distraction. The dog on the placement goes down very fast and remains till the pickup. This is excellent. 64 points.